So how did you become a priest, Father Valery? When you were a child, they told you you would be in trouble if you went to a church. Now you grew up where? What country?
I grew up in former Soviet Union, in Belarus now, country Belarus, and I remember as a child, as a young man going to school, when there was at springtime, when there was time for Pascha, Easter celebration, the feast, our teachers would tell us that we will be tonight, when the service in the church will be near church, and checking for each of you. If we see you in coming to church, you would have problems. And they told us not to go. And of course, because we were told not to go, we had special interest what is there happening, and we went to church, which was still filled with people. And in Belarus, my parents always told me that we should believe in God because there is God, and therefore we should believe in Him. And my mother especially reminded me from time to time, we are taught in our country that there is no God. But you know that people abroad, who live abroad, most people believe in God, and you should believe. And so this is how I was guided by my parents. And then when I grew up, I wasn't baptized even yet. My mother, she is Catholic, and we lived in Belarus, in the eastern part of Belarus, where mostly Orthodox churches, not Catholics, and she wanted me to take one day to a Catholic church and to baptize, but it did not happen. And only when I was coming to United States, as she was saying goodbye to me, she told me, if you have a chance to be baptized in America, where I was going, please do it, because this was my wish, and I somehow did not do it yet.
How old were you when you came to the United States?
I came in 1993, and I was then 21 years old. And when I came, of course, it was after the collapse of Soviet Union. When Soviet Union collapsed, all the values which were taught in school also fell. And it was scary because if all this, what we were taught, is now
it's invalid.
Where are the values? And I was yearning to find where is the true good, because there was enough evil in the world to see. You don't have to look for it. It's you can see if you open your eyes. Even if you don't wanna, you met with difficulties and evil, and so you start to discuss if evil is a reality. So there should be something which is also good, but also real good. And I remember thinking about that and talking about this with my friend, about not far from Orthodox Church. I was not facing the church, facing the person and talking about it, not even thinking, turn around, go to the church, talk to somebody in the church or a priest. This is how we were disoriented by the Soviet upbringing, by confused in spiritual way, blind. And when I came here to United States, I was given Russian Bible. It's also a long story, how interesting and long story about Bibles, how I received them. But shortly to tell, it was I was working in a summer children camp, and a cook, a lady working, making food, lunches, dinner for us, all of us, once came to me and gave me a box. And she said, "This is for you." I opened it. To my surprise, there were New Testament, there were Bibles and some religious books, which when I received it, I thanked her, took it to my room, looked at it, and reading the introduction to the Bible, which was saying that why we should believe in God. Who is God? When we believe, how do we live? Just briefly explaining what is the Bible and what is a Christian. And I thought, well, I am not prepared enough to accept and to follow, because it is a big responsibility, and I need to prepare. I need to learn more about it. But then somehow a thought came, like I was discussing with myself. A thought came to me which said, or I thought, what if tomorrow you will die? You know, there is in Orthodox Church, there is we are reminded about death from time to time, thoughts of death. So this thought came to me, and at that time, and I thought, what if I die tomorrow? Because many people die in accident. I know close people who died accidentally, and it can happen to me any day. And when I die, I will appear in the other world, and I will be probably then asked, you were given a chance to believe in God and live, but you somehow rejected it. So, and rejected because of some minor things. In comparison, what we follow when we take God into account and believe and live in Him, in Christ. So I felt ashamed, and I thought, of course I should start now, from this moment, to believe in God. And if there is God, He will help me. And so there was a prayer in the Bible. I read that prayer, that now I believe, and I devote my life to what I believe, and I will try to live it. And so after that prayer, somehow my life changed. It's also a long story how it all happened, but it all changed. I became a new person, and I started to read Bible, which impressed me a lot and disappointed me a lot, because starting reading Old Testament, it was a lot which I did not understand, and I was disappointed, because it's a holy book from God, about God, and I don't understand many things. So I prayed to God and asked, I see in reading the Old Testament that there are righteous people. There are prophets, there are people like Abraham, Moses, Isaac, those who followed God, believed in Him. I believe that there are people still. People exist, like righteous people. Because I don't understand many things what I read, I asked God in my prayer, send me to such a righteous man.